After a mandatory break from the war within to deal with matters in another timeline, I have come to set the record straight with one of the writer's fairly disguised fetish, Xalatath, on the cosmic battlefield of ARESH, and it all started with this image, the fate of the devoured. When the initial data mines came out about the Ghosts of ARESH patch, this image was leaked for a new campsite. Having spent the last several months stuck in a casino, I wanted to get the hell out of this place, because frankly, it's taken a toll on me. Also, look at the new campsite. It's a black hole. This is so sick. Like, seriously, who wouldn't want to put their characters here? Unlocking this background is an actual piece of cake, and many of you have already done it. It's just completing the full storyline of ARESH. And while that was supposed to be an hour or two of questing, let me assure you, dear viewer, it was not. So come and join me as I have to endure a relentless onslaught of power-tripping raid leaders, weak story twists, and fragile egos. Welcome to ARESH. Before we can properly enter ARESH, I need to teach you the lore. While I was working my ass off on the last two videos, I missed a very important questline called lore walking. Actually, it wasn't supposed to be important. Lore walking is supposed to be a condensed version of several books and expansions dedicated to teaching new players about different characters like Arthas Menethil or Xalatath. Despite being told that lore walking was optional, Blizzard decided to add the entirety of Xalatath's unrevealed backstory to it. We get to learn all about how Xalatath belonged to this big bad guy, Dimensius, her time as the Silver Surfer, and what led her to being locked up in the Dagger. Xalatath roleplaying as the Silver Surfer isn't the big takeaway of lore walking though, because we have an entire ethereal-based storyline instead, explaining how the planet blew up and how the ethereals became space mummies. And can you believe it? Xalatath is actually connected to the homeworld of the ethereals, ARESH, and she may have had a hand in blowing it up. In what might be the greatest story decision Blizzard has made in the last decade, lore walking also decides to retcon Shadowlands once again, by revealing that the Brokers, one of the few redeeming qualities of Shadowlands, are actually the same race as the ethereals. Blizzard released an audio novel that explains why they are now two different races that I had to sit down and listen to. Not that I actually remember any of it except how fucking cool Locust Walker is. Seriously, what a guy. Anyways, because the ethereals and Brokers are actually the same race, they reunite and become best friends again. And their first action as besties is to shadow drop Tazavesh, the Veiled Market, into the middle of ARESH. Having spent a minimum of 5 hours to understand the plot, I finally entered ARESH for the very first time. Why do I always feel like I'm green screened to these cutscenes? Landing in Tazavesh, everyone forgot that I destroyed this city 5 years ago now. That's right, Shadowlands is 5 years old. Beginning of the storyline starts with you, the adventurer, having to go through immigration services. After that, I was required by law to help the civilians of this fine city by participating in a slice-of-life anime-style set of quests. These bastards have me doing everything. I had to rescue escaped animals. Don't mind that my character is literally infecting them with every single disease known to man. After that, I had to go fight the postal service and do IT work. After helping the people of Tazavesh and gaining nothing for it, I turned to alcoholism. And in doing so, I discovered the dark presence that was infecting the city, the club. By the way, if you've ever done Tazavesh before, you must know that my favorite character from the entire Shadowlands expansion is located at the nightclub in Tazavesh. This character, while not known to the greater fan base, might actually be the architect behind every issue in the Warcraft universe. Imagine, for a moment, the jailer was not the mastermind behind everything, but that he had a master controlling him from the shadows. That character would be Dirt Whistle, the lead horn player for the Sinstone Swingers. In fact, during my Mount Mania grind during the 20th anniversary, the only bright side of going to Tazavesh was to see Dirt Whistle play his music. This stone, minute, smooth jazz wine-tasting bastard is the only reason I'm not actively destroying Tazavesh again. So finally, walking to the club, I was excited to see him play once. No. Wait. Where is he? Where's Dirt Whistle? Oh my god, where is he? These are my natural reactions, the knowledge that he might have died in this terrible terrorist attack upon the bar. After exacting my unholy anger upon the first ethereal I saw, the dark presence in the city finally revealed itself to me.
It's time we were introduced. But Illyria, we've already met.
After our ceiling-shattering high from a great patch premise, we have now dropped below sea level from this cataclysmically weak twist. Or, well, whatever ARESH has, considering it's a fucking wasteland. To keep the story simple and prevent you from falling asleep on me, I will summarize the rest of the story. The next 45 minutes of the story is a loop of Illyria, Xalatath, and Locust Walker fighting with each other, backstabbing each other, and making my life miserable. We also have this new girl, Soulscribe, who joins the group after Xalatath and I successfully fake a terrorist attack on her village. Soulscribe's lore is described in the doom of ARESH, and essentially, she was the high priestess of ARESH, and everywhere she went, she had a posse of magical strippers protecting her. Anyways, despite gaining the love of her people, Soulscribe still wants to kill me on account of my shared connection to both Locust Walker and Xal'atath. In order to get her to chill out, I take Soulscribe to the Oasis, and while I was successfully talking her down, Xal'atath got bored and tried to speed things up by mind blasting her instead. After successfully shattering her mind, Soulscribe is now firmly on Team Swagstar and promises her army in the fight against Dimensius. She also gave me a magic cloak. Neat. But in classic Blizzard fashion, I am forced to wait another week to access 15 more minutes of gameplay. Since I'm being time-gated, I took it upon myself to visit all the wonderful side quests baked into ARESH and summarize them for the fine people subscribed to this channel. Back in Tazvesh, I get hired to make an energy drink to help the people of Tazvesh finish their 18-hour workdays. After painstakingly recreating white monsters, I was asked to deliver it to our test candidates. Our first candidate, Riftwalker Aleia, gets superpowers from said drink, then immediately crashes out. The second is Hips from, oh my god, there he is, holy shit, Dirt Whistle's live. Oh my god, I missed you so much, you stupid little gargoyle bastard. Oh my god, please never scare me again. After testing the drink out, I am told we are moving to testing on animals. I got sent by my boss to feed a literal fucking eldritch horror, a white monster. It should come as no surprise that the demon in question immediately went apeshit berserk and was put down by yours truly. There are a bunch of other storylines in Tazvesh too, like one where you have to help workers unionize against their criminal boss, or executing warrants sent out by the Tazvesh Guard Force. After being fired for killing a demon in the city, I applied to a new job at a void storage market. My boss, who was paying me slightly more than minimum wage, instructed me to throw items into a void storage for some fucked up interdimensional version of Storage Wars. The first thing he asks of me is to return a mount. Okay, cool. I throw the mount in, only to realize I threw Invincible into the portal, and this guy, my boss, he decides to hit me with the funniest joke of 2010. Next up, return a weapon. Oh, of course, it's 39 fucking splinters of ATH. After this, he pulls out a withered carrot on a stick. What am I doing? Am I robbing a classic anniversary play right now? What the fuck's going on? After this bit of backlash, I got my ass fired and exiled into ARESH proper. However, to survive in these dread wastes, I took up all sorts of odd ends and jobs. I helped a broker steal the souls of the damned. I dropkicked a demon hunter through a portal. I fought a space dragon. Yeah, I don't know who actually designed this fight, but considering every time that he opened his mouth, people died, I gotta give it a thumbs up. I won't lie though, I had the strangest sense of deja vu watching people die here. Like, I've seen this happen before. Rushanor, the world boss, is not actually a mechanically complex fight, but he still took me 11 full minutes to do. But let's not act like those 11 minutes were boring. I had great entertainment in chat. Introducing Aoki, the Death Knight. In the middle of this fight, I have to notice that Aoki was complaining in chat and referred to another member of the group as a trash-ass druid, demanding that we kick Mid-Zalem from the group. I don't know who pissed in Aoki's Cheerios this morning, but he was hostile. Embodying his inner strength, Mid-Zalem spoke up at this moment to inform everyone that Aoki was doing shit on the damage meters.
Coming from the guy doing less than half the damage of me.
I pulled up my details to try and find him, only to discover that he was in 30th place, behind the prod tank and slightly ahead of the Mistweaver monk. Not to jump in the hate wagon, but Aoki has been in this group since the pool. When confronted with his evidence, he took aim at a different player in the group.
Pride, you gonna attack Horsid like a cuck and watch?
Chad Zalam, still seeking blood for Aoki's transgressions, slapped back.
Planning to watch you doing laughable low damage.
Normally, I am not a very feisty person in random chats, but today, considering I have been fired from 2 different jobs, I was salty to say the least, so I left a small message in chat. I don't know if it was the initial call out of his low status on the DPS meters by Mid-Zalem, or if it was his fellow Death Knight taking his EO down a notch, but Aoki remained dead for the rest of the fight, and did not contribute any more of his enlightened statements into the raid chat. The irony of Aoki calling someone a cuck for not attacking, then AFKing the entire fight, was not lost upon me. After this, I got back to finish the side quests of ARESH. I assisted in a suicide bombing attempt, then I reunited a lost brother and sister by participating in a failed suicide bombing attempt, a shocking 2 attempts in a single day. I went to my final quest chain, which was about an old priest. After securing his freedom, I thought he was gonna blow himself up like the rest of the people on this goddamn planet. But actually, no, he just wants to be a priest again. So he comes to me, the Death Knight, to try and find religion. Okay. After gathering a magical dinner plate, his favorite manga, and his staff, I cleansed them of evil and finished my Sojourner of ARESH achievement. It must have been a week now, right? No, it's only been 3 hours. Fuck. Alright, so I still have a little bit more time to waste. So, let's find something else to do. What are the normal things I like to do? Oh, I know, battle pets. Let's go find some. Battle pets? Where are you? Is this thing on? Where the fuck are they? Let me look this up.
Patching them. He said the actual battling part of it won't be in Midnight because they're kind of seeing that there's not many people interacting with like the pet battle side of it.
Okay, so we have no battle pets. What about the rest? Okay, let me get through the list real quick. Fishing. I don't think there's any fishing here. Okay, let's go do some dragon racing. Oh, there's no racing here either. No dungeon meta, no group activities, no battle pet quests. Holy shit. This really is a wasteland. Tuesday Reset is finally here and we can finish the story. But to describe this as a storyline would be an overstatement. This was another 15 minutes of gameplay that I should have had last week. The story continues where we left off. Exaltath, Illyria, Locust Walker, and Soul Scribe have joined forces to take down the evil Ethereals. After helping them wreak havoc on the Shadow Guard, we go destroy a bunch of invasion points that are currently empowering Dimensius. After we destroy a few of them, I'm out in these streets trying to seal to a still, because we are actually in the Burning Crusade, and are finally continuing the Netherstorm plotline after 20 years. The bad guy of Netherstorm, King Saladar, never died, and the fragment of Dimensius we killed was only 0.0000001% of its true power. Near the end of the questline, I end up in Shadowpoint Torment to turn it off, only to reveal that King Saladar was still alive. When we assault this location, Saladar reveals because he never died, Soul Scribe canonically has to be on his side, because of some oath she took during the Doom of Koresh. Soul Scribe, realizing the lore implications, joins King Saladar and sends her besties to fight me and goes to raid Ecodome Aldani. After killing Soul Scribe's besties, we arrive at Manaforge Omega to realize we are too late and Dimensius is back. This puts us on the final step of the questline, kill Dimensius. Since LFR Dimensius in story mode won't be available for another week, I have to pug this raid out, because all of my guildies are either playing Classic or have dedicated raid teams on retail, so I was alone on this one. After hunting for a pug, I managed to get into one led by this guy, Masaid, who would be our glorious leader for this raid. I was the last person to join the group, and at this moment, I should have been paying attention to the red flags surrounding him. If you ever want to judge or measure a raid group, you should see how their raid leader talks. Is the fact that this raid leader was from Qualta Loss already didn't put red flags in your mind, the all caps talking style will. What you are going to see here is a wonderful 2 hours of my life, the fate of a man who usually plugs out his ahead of the curves. While this patch is still lacking in certain aspects, I still miss you battle pets. A large portion of it is made up by how fucking cool Manaforge Omega is. The first boss is a giant robot designed to keep this place locked down. Shame that he's an absolute pushover though that almost anyone can one-shot. The raid now splits off into multiple directions from here. We decide to go to Lumathar. In chat, I decided to get friendly and congratulate my Demon Hunter friends, currently making up 20% of the group's composition on receiving a third spec finally. This was not taken well. We reach the second boss, Lumathar, and it's a giant silk-weaving thing. I don't know what this is. I'm be real with you, I don't. After our first wipe at 2%, we received more constructive criticism from our glorious raid leader.
Stop tunneling and play well.
This message was so damn awe-inspiring, we killed it on our next attempt. In fact, our group is so inspired by this simple message by our glorious leader that we one-shot everything up to Fractilius, which we kill on our second attempt. After that, we reunite with Nexus King Saladar. We knock his ass down a peg and Exaltath sucks him into the Dark Heart. Finally, we reach Dimensius. This is the final boss of both the raid and expansion. This boss fight might just be one of the single coolest bosses ever designed by Blizzard. You don't even get to fight the boss, you have to beat down shards of him instead. After you beat enough shards, he sends you to the Shadow Realm. While in here, you have to fly through a collapsing universe, while he explodes planets near you, shoots galaxy-sized lasers, and chunks moons at you. It is a really cool fucking fight. However, this is where our somewhat competent group started to face issues. After killing Saladar, our glorious leader spoke to us once more.
I saw that several people don't know how to do mechanics, and am going to change people so they don't die.
The only reason I'm in this raid to begin with is to kill this boss and call it a day, so being told a single screw-up, a singular one, will result in a kick is kinda scary. Before we can even get to Dimensius, Fish Dip, our number 2 DPS on Nexus King Saladar, gets kicked. For what reason, I do not know, but this is the first sign of what's to come. As we enter the room, a priest in the group, GW Trading, accidentally starts the boss fight, and we wipe instantly. No one was kicked for this incident, but you can definitely feel the mood changing in the raid. We clean ourselves up, get ready to go back again, and we take on Dimensius for good. And we wipe. This was our first real wipe, but little did I know, this is where my nightmare begins. Masaid kicked several people from the group, Odoron X and Kali Goddess. Both raiders have been with us since Plexus Sentinel. Masaid then doubles down on his original message.
I invite you to please leave the raid.
Patron Shots, the only person who is keeping raid chat alive, leaves. GW Trading and Cassie leave with him. It is here that I realize I am sitting on the edge of either a failing group or a power-tripping raid leader. Which one it is, I'm not certain yet, but I am high on copium believing we are going to kill this boss tonight. We refill. I keep my head down and stay silent. But do note, this was only the first actual attempt. Everyone kicked so far, the nightmare situation that has begun to unfold happened on our first real wipe. We make several more attempts and eventually reach Dimensius' Phase 2. During his second phase, there is a special mechanic revolving around orbs. If you collect an orb before you arrive at any of the mini-bosses' platforms, it will deal around 5% of their HP. Keeping myself busy, I find myself collecting orbs during every attempt hereforth, while still remaining a respectable place on the damage meters. We finally began a good push, but I made a big mistake and went too low while collecting an orb. Without me, they actually managed to enter Phase 3 and bring the boss down to 63%. My death brings me down from number 2 on the damage meters all the way to number 10, and this is where I made a mistake that would ruin my night. I noticed that we had 6 Death Knights in the group, and I made a joke about Frost Death Knights, to which our Fury Warrior pointed out that I was number 10 on the fight. And while I was typing that I had died collecting an orb, I was kicked. I was so goddamn pissed about this because I had just spent the last hour of my life doing attempts on a boss and a pug, consistently rolling in decent damage and beating out every other DK who's joined our group. Yet Masaid kicked me after a single actual misplay, despite being a top performer for the entire goddamn raid. I did not die on a single kill leading up to this. I messaged Masaid saying, hey, I was doing pretty good and I had only died to a misplay, but as the timer ticked down, my hopes that Masaid would respond became smaller and smaller. And all of it, this entire run, was for naught, as the timer ticked down to 0. But redemption often comes in an unexpected form. As I sat outside of the portal seething, I received a group invite a minute later by a forming Dimensius group. It was in this group that I found my true purpose and a new hype man. Introducing our true glorious leader, Thorsten, and his Herald of Light, Threlling. If Masaid was a power-tripping maniac that tanked his group by getting rid of his top performers, Thorsten was a certified gaming machine that had only one objective: kill the damn boss. It was here that I met Threlling, someone cut from the exact same cloth as me. When I joined the raid, Threlling's first message was, "No way, an unholy brother?" Where I was dealing with Frost Death Knights who were playing their class for Flavor of the Month post their big rework, I came across a certified unholy Chad who was playing our godforsaken spec because he truly loved it. Threlling's feelings towards Frost DKs were hostile to say the least, but because he loved me as an unholy, I too loved him back. However, we had an issue forming. It was roughly 2 AM Central Time. Our group members were getting sleepy, but Thorsten, a man of the people, could empathize with them. As we couldn't find another tank, our Herald of Light, Threlling, chose to make the ultimate sacrifice and respec to blood for us. Instead of hearing wipe or repeat, with no follow-up, this new raid group actually had conversations about strategy. After a very brief recruiting period, we finally pulled. And we one-shot Dimensius. That's right, as a final insult to Masaid's entire legacy, our group one-shot Dimensius. What would make this even sweeter is that Masaid's group kept pulling for another hour after this kill, and to my understanding, failing to kill Dimensius that night. However, since it was still 2 AM, everyone quickly went to bed and I left the raid. God damn it, I forgot to turn the quest in. Okay, let me get my second account out real quick. Now that the story ended the exact way it was supposed to, with once again, a devastatingly weak twist and ruining the most compelling ethereal character around, I realized that I didn't get the achievement for the campsite. Wait, there's more? Oh my god, I still have to deal with Soul Scribe! The next evening, I got on and got into a Mythic Plus group for Ecodome Aldani. When we started, I had zero clue about this dungeon, but you know, it's a +2, there's nothing really hard about it. Except that our tank forgot that we were in a Mythic Plus dungeon and nearly left with only a 66% trash completion. We spent the next 8 minutes clearing out trash, only so I could finish this patch finally. Soulscribe was defeated, and somehow Venari was able to retrieve the World Soul? Wait a second. What? Did I miss this part? What? Huh? Okay, anyway, Soulscribe, recognizing the error of her ways, lets Venari take her clothes off, and she becomes one with the World Soul. Wait, what? That's it? My formerly radicalized ally turned enemy just became one with the world and brought back all the animals and the wildlife? You know what? Okay, I've dealt with enough stuff today. I'm just glad that I have this achievement finished. I just want to take a moment, soak in the campsite, enjoy the view. Finally. Wait, where is it? It's not here? All this was for nothing? What the fuck?